Today I attempted to survive 200 days in hardcore Minecraft. If you haven't watched the first 100 days, be sure to do so. My main goal was to make an iron farm, a creeper farm, a raid farm, and improve the aesthetic part of my base. And the aesthetic part of my base, I did. Wait, what? Fellas, if you enjoyed this particular video, drop a like. Also, only 0% of you are subscribed, so if you don't mind, press that red button as well. If you want to support this channel, I have a Patreon in the description. Also, I'm doing a Q&A video for 1000 subscribers, so if you have a question, leave it down in the comments with a hashtag Q&A, and I'll be sure to answer it. Anyways, without further ado, let's start the video. Day 101. Straight away, I jumped into action. I started preparing the area for my iron farm, excavating dirt and filling in puddles and chopping them logs. After sleeping, I started gathering all the resources I'll need to make said farm. It looks different than the ones I usually make, but it's really similar to my tutorial farm. If you want to see how to make it, click the video in the top right corner of the screen. I dug out the area where I want my golems to spawn and I filled it in with flowing water. Next few days, I was really just organizing things, planning out what to do next. I needed some XP, so I went to my trusty Enderman farm, which I accidentally set on fire. At the end of day 104, I started working on the main part of this farm. I needed to create an artificial village, so iron golems would spawn. While working on that, I realized I need a name tag, but I didn't have a decent fishing rod. So I went to the Nether realm to collect some quick XP. And then, my heart sank. I thought this was the end. Wait a minute, I have full netherite. In full honesty, if I hadn't switched to my netherite chestplate from my elytra, I would probably have died. And then my ADHD kicked in, and I completely forgot what I was doing. So I went to the end and mined a bunch of obsidian, because I wanted to finish up that obsidian church back at my base. When I got back, I actually got my mending book and put it on my fishing rod. After only a few minutes of fishing, I got the name tag, so I finished up the build, lured the zombie into my trap. Sure, the first attempt failed, but that's alright. The next day consisted of me picking out 3 lucky winners to get trapped on this floating island, where they always have to fear for their life. I decided to expand the area around this farm, so golems wouldn't spawn behind the wall and get stuck. Now that we're 3 men short on our living quarters, I needed to make a potato farm so they could repopulate. I went ahead and also made a wheat farm for my livestock and a carrot farm for golden carrots later on. I completely forgot that I don't have carrots though, so I had to find another village and steal theirs. I also want to test out a new mining strategy that I found on Reddit. After only mining for like 10 minutes, I had found almost a stack of diamonds. Thanks to my Fortune Zyabillion pickaxe, of course. 10 to the power of 69. I actually wanted to start working on my creeper farm as well, ASAP. So I made a massive water elevator to Y level 200 and enjoyed my 32 render distance sunset. But then my game started to lag and I quickly changed it back to 9. I left that project on hold for now because I remembered I hadn't explored any ocean monuments in this world. In fact, I've never explored one. I've never seen the purpose in doing that, but I really wanted those sea lanterns. So I made a few potions, got a few buckets of milk, and went to the ocean where I thought I saw a monument earlier. And sure enough, I found it. I really underestimated the strength of these guys, and almost died on multiple occasions. I quickly ran out of milk and water breeding pots, so it took me a couple of days to realize what I have to do. I had to look for the Elder Guardians, so I wouldn't get mining fatigue. I killed one, but there was another one. After looking for a while, I found it and killed it. I was freed from the curse. I didn't really have much to do except steal their lights and soak up all the water. I did find a bit of gold, so I'd say this trip was not worth it at all. I plan on making a guardian farm maybe in the next video, but definitely not yet. I did a bunch of farming on day 122. Also I replaced the torches with sea lanterns around my iron farm, which looked hella fresh. I farmed some sugar canes on the next day and started stacking all my iron blocks underneath my beacon. I don't really know what happened here because I did some work, but the day has not been recorded at all. But all I did was make a huge dirt staircase to the top of my water elevator where I'll be making my creeper farm. I later realized that this was pointless because if I want to lure the cats up, I could have just used my water elevator, which I did. And then I spent half the day getting rid of this staircase. I also got a bunch of magma blocks, but that's irrelevant. So day 125 rolled around, and I began construction on my farm. I used my own design, and if you want to see a tutorial, comment down below. It was a bit tedious, but the end result will be worth it. I made around 10 platforms for the creepers to spawn. When I was done, I knew the farm would work because I got ambushed by like 20 mobs. I dipped, and luckily for me, they started falling to their deaths. But I needed some wool for carpets, so I sheared some of my sheep. Also, I needed a metric crap ton of wood, so I spent a few days on chopping trees. When I got back up to the farm, I turned all the wood into trapdoors and placed them for 3 days straight. I needed to do that, so no mobs except creepers would spawn. On day 132, I finished placing all the trapdoors and carpets. I had to start luring all the cats into their respective platforms. If you didn't know, creepers run away from cats, so in this case they will just run off the edge and fall on my magma blocks, which will kill them. This actually took me 2 more days, but by the end of day 134, I had acquired the rhythm, and it was going a lot faster. On the next 2 days, I worked on the roof, which will allow more creepers to spawn, and I also started working on the walls. These walls are going to bring the production up from a few stacks an hour to a bunch more. I don't know, I'm too lazy to do the math. I didn't have nearly enough cobblestone for the walls though, so over the next few days I started alternating between mining and building. Day 140. Finally I finished up the farm and it was complete. What a beaut, isn't she? I wanted to see how efficient it was, so I AFK'd for the whole night, or around 10 minutes. After 10 minutes had passed, I accumulated over 2 stacks of gunpowder. It could have been better, but I'm not complaining. I finished up my max size beacon on this day, and wanted to test insta-mining with Haste 2 for the first time, but I didn't have efficiency 5 on my tax collector. So I had to trade with some local villagers, and boom baby! That's right. That right there is science.
Is math related to science?
The next day I started packing up my beacon. You know what I had to do. I went a wee bit outside my base, found a desolate location in the forest, and dug down to level Y11. This is where I'll be setting up my beacon, and where I'll be testing out the mining powers of this thing. This, in my opinion, is the most satisfying thing you can do. I found a bunch of diamonds straight away, but had to pack up after all my shulkers were filled up. After unpacking the beacon at my base, I started experimenting with the reinforced 2 effect. Kobe! I know it was dangerous, but dangerous is my middle name. It's pronounced Dangerous, but it's a foreign name, so whatever. Over the next 11 days, I had to leave my base. I wanted a raid farm, so I had to find a raid outpost that is close to the ocean. Thankfully, after circling around the ocean I had next to my house, I found one. I saved the coordinates, went back to my house, and gathered up all the resources I'll need. This isn't my design, so a huge shout out to Woltrox. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. I followed his tutorial all the way through because I was incompetent enough where I was physically unable to create it myself. I tried for hours in creative mode, but nothing seemed to work. Anyways, I took all these items and went back. I had to make a bridge to the raid outpost because I'll need to bring over a villager to the middle of the ocean. I thought about bringing one back from my base, but I found a village right next to the outpost. So I tunneled through the nether, fortifying everything so the villager doesn't die, and pushed him into the farm. After destroying the bridge, I began works on the part that will make all of this work. After ages, the farm was done, and here's how it works. You basically go to the raid outpost, kill the dude with the banner, I don't know what it's called, and go back to the farm. Immediately after arriving, a raid will trigger, but all you have to do is wait until the raid victory card disappears. While waiting, all the raiders spawn at the top, as you can see here. And after I push the button on my left, they fall in the water and then fall right in front of me, where they can't attack me. After killing them all, I'll have Bad Omen 5 effect. And all I have to do is press this other button, which drops me near enough to the villagers so the raid can trigger again. Day 159 got corrupt, but again, I didn't really do anything too important. I captured the bee and made her a home. On day 160, I continued renovations on the bee house. At evening, I brought him a friend. I think I'll call him Oppenheimer One Fondle Breast. The next few days, I tried getting some achievements done. I started off with the bullseye one, but didn't really get it. I did kill a pillager with a crossbow though. While trying to repair my elytra at the raid farm, I noticed that my villager had turned into a zombie. I thought I was going to need to bring another one to the farm, but thankfully I had a golden apple in my inventory and a weakness potion in my ender chest. After repairing my elytra and almost dying, I got my trusty compass and started going to the world spawn. After a while I had arrived. And there it was, the ender dragon egg that I lost a mere 100 days ago. I got a little bit nostalgic about being back here, so I wrote a sign, finished making the broken nether portal from day 1, and ventured back home. I found a bastion on my way back and quickly rummaged it for its goods. Day 165 was pretty uneventful. I did make the best netherite hoe possible, and got another achievement for that. Next day I got myself a lodestone, and with that another achievement as well. I got some honey and picked up the bee nest with 3 bees inside, which apparently was another achievement. Then I decided that I want to resurrect the ender dragon, because I had never done that as well. Everything went relatively smoothly. I placed down some of my proudest belongings on or next to the 100-day monument. That included a piece of ancient debris, the dragon egg, my lucky yellow shield, and some enchanted armor. This was also the day I started sprucing up my iron farm. I'm going to need a lot of sand though, so I went to the nearest desert and was digging all night. On day 169, nice, I went to the nether and gathered an equal amount of gravel. It was a pain, but everything's alright. On the next 2 days I was working on the farm. It doesn't look like much now, but wait until the end. More sand collecting on day 172. Back to work on the next day. While placing all the white concrete, I was smelting some glass back in my house. I'll need a lot of it to finish off this farm. Polishing up my parkour skills on day 175. After messing around, I enchanted a new shovel without Fortune 3 and went out digging gravel. Once I placed all the concrete blocks, I started placing down the glass. I chose yellow for obvious reasons, but needs some green ones as well, so I had to go all the way back to the desert to get a couple of stacks of cacti. Day 179 rolled around and I was adding the green and lime glass to my farm. It finally started looking the way I intended it to. 180 to 181 I finished the renovations. At the end it looked almost perfect, besides the weird visual glitch where the glass looked wonky along the chunk borders. I also decided to pave some decent roads in this country. I should make a huge Latvian flag in the 300 days video though. Day 182 to 193 were spent deep in the mines, using my special secret technique for finding diamonds. I needed to get a couple of stacks of them, because I want to do something special for day 200. I gathered all the resources, brought them back up to the base and started making the day 200 monument. I didn't want to finish it yet, so I placed diamond blocks next to it. On day 194 I went digging for more sand. I came extremely close to dying in the desert and I don't know why or how. And on day 195 I decided to make a cool little glass ball right next to my base in the sky. I want a bunch of these balls. I want a bunch of these balls with different biomes in them scattered around my base. In the morning I wanted to put a little bit more life in the ball and next to my house. So I made a bunch of bushes. It's ironic that I tried leveling up the base, but ended up accidentally killing 2 villagers. Day 197 was spent by creating a top secret structure in the corner of my base. I'll finish it in the next 100 days though, I don't have enough time right now. I needed to create preparations for the 200 day special. You'll see what I mean in the next day, but I'll give you a hint. I did some redstone work and I needed to AFK my creeper farm for the whole day of 199. Day 200. This is the most dedicated I've ever been in one Minecraft world save, and this fact had to be celebrated. So I went to the diamond statue and finished it up. Oh, and looky-loo, a rogue lever. I wonder what it does. Boom! Explosions! America! Yeah. I mean, Latvia. Yeah. This is the end of the video, but stick around for some more information you probably want to hear. First of all, I want to thank you all so much for over 800 subscribers. You don't know how much it means to me. Second, I'm doing a Q&A at 1000 subscribers, so be sure to leave any questions you want in the comments with the hashtag Q&A. Third of all, I want you guys to give me some suggestions on what kind of videos you want to see. Obviously, I could be doing this forever, but I want to know what you want to see. And if you made it this far, please hit that subscribe button. It's free and you can always change your mind. Anyways, bye bye. 'Cause I eat the whole ass.